Hold up. Wait a minute. Bruh. Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposed in the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring cults. Exploring. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Carrie Bradshaw's bedroom while we talk about this whole situation with the White House, with the hoax, the Epstein hoax. It's a hoax. It's a hoax, y'all. So welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat, y'all. So I took a little nap. And you know how when you take a nap and you're like, damn, I'm too tired. Like I woke up feeling too tired after I needed a nap for the nap. So I'm like very slow today. I do apologize. The coffee hasn't quite hit yet. And I keep looking over here because I have to remember that my camera's right here now. Hold up. Let's see. Because it's just a little weird. Give me 1 second. See if I could fix this. Hold up, y'all. 1 second. Because this is going to bother me a bit if I don't fix it. Okay, there we go. At least a little bit. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. At least a little bit. Okay. It's a little, whatever. It is what it is. We're going to have to do what we do. You love the hoax be hoax thing. I know. Welcome, welcome. You said the hoax isn't exactly what they wanted to think it is, right? Girl, right? Okay. Well, guess what, guys? Maurene Comey has, I guess, given a little spicy memo. Now, I started reading it, but I was like, I can't read it because I got to read it with my people, which is you guys, right? Because you guys have been following this story with me. No, I have not. What's up with that article? Let me know, girl. Kiss and mooch. Let me know in the chat. So welcome, everybody. Now, you guys know that YouTube, specifically this document, unless I'm like CBS News or Law and Crime, they like to suppress this channel when it comes to this topic. So I have to remind people to please hit the like button. Please support the channel. Just share it. Do what you got to do because I'm only one me. I am not some big show or anything like that. Even though, we getting up there with our subscribers. We doing the thing. Shout out to us. But we're just not there yet. We don't even have a plaque yet. You know what I mean? So I'm asking you guys, please hit the like button because it helps with any algorithm suppression. It's weird because it's like they're willing to allow, bigger networks to talk about this news. But when it comes to like little bloggers like myself, they don't want us talking about it. So there is that. So thank you guys. Thank you. And shout out to everybody in the chat. And Elsa, I have arrived. Thank you for the $2, my love. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. And Elsa has arrived. Okay. He said it's about Epi's birthday related to the Trump. Somehow I haven't read it yet. Just the headline. Okay, I'll have to check it out. We'll have to check it out. Thank you. The algorithm doesn't like truth tellers. That is so accurate. So accurate. Maurene Comey. she's kind of, I guess, fired back. This is what I've heard so far. So we're going to get through this article. Now, this was released, I want to say maybe an hour ago, depending on what side of the world you're in, maybe an hour and 30 minutes. Maurene Comey issues fiery memo after ousted from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Here we go. Let's go. Let's see what she had to say. Maurene Comey, the daughter of former FBI James Comey and a career federal prosecutor, issued a fiery memo a day after being ousted from her job at the U.S. Attorney's Office from the Southern District of New York, telling colleagues that fear is the tool of a tyrant, yield to suppress the independent thought, do the right thing the right way for the right reasons without fear of retribution and without favor to the powerful, Maurene Comey said in a Thursday message, which was obtained by multiple outlets. For the majority of my nearly 10 years at SDNY, fear was never really conceivable. We don't fear bad press. We have the luxury of exceptional security keeping us physically safe. And so as long as we did our job, and so as long as we did our work with integrity, we would get to keep serving the public in this office, she wrote. Comey was fired on Wednesday from her post at the U.S. Attorney's Office, where she worked for nearly a decade. The White House press conference secretary, which they asked her, and she was like, that decision was from the Justice Department, the DOJ. She kind of did that thing. And we were actually live watching the presser. And what I want to say, there was a good 5 questions regarding Epstein, some of which were, one of them she skipped over, and it was regarding Maxwell. She didn't even look at the reporter that was asking that, but I heard that being asked. She was going that way, and then she looks this way. She's like, go ahead, you ask your question, right? And then there were some other ones pertaining to a lot pertaining to the Epstein files. Comey's father, James Comey, has had a contentious relationship with President Trump. He was fired during Trump's first White House term. James Comey, a Trump critic, helped kickstart the investigation into alleged ties between Trump's 2016 campaign and Russia. Maurene Comey firing was largely seen as connected to her father. So, for those that don't know, Maurene worked on criminal cases against Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell. She was part of the team that brought the ST charges against Epstein, the, disgrace, SO guy who K'd himself, people will like you to believe, in 2019 while awaiting trial. Comey was also on the team that handled the prosecution of Sean Diddy Combs. Our focus was really on acting without favor. That is, making sure people with access, money, power were not treated differently than anyone else, and making sure this office remains separate from politics, and focus only on the facts and the law. Comey said in the memo, adding, but we have entered a new phase where without fear, maybe the challenge. If a career prosecutor can be fired without reason, clock that. She said without reason. If a career prosecutor can be fired without reason, fear may seep into the decision of those who remain. Do not let that happen. Fear is the tool of the tyrant to suppress independent thought. She added in the message, instead of fear, let this moment fuel the fire that already burns at the heart of this place, a fire of righteousness, indignation at abuses of power, of commitment to seek justice for victims, our dedication to truth above all else. James Comey recently came under criticism for posting a photo of seashells at the beach arranged to form the numbers 8647, with the president claiming it was a call for his assassination. Comey called the backlash a distraction. Now, I want to see her full statement, which is what I want to see, y'all. Thank you. Oh my God, minds, y'all. Thank you so much for the $10. I sent a message to your Insta about BBC putting out the statement. I say good for her. Okay, let me actually, since you told me that, girl, you said it on my Insta, y'all. I get a lot of requests, and because I get a lot of requests, I never know who and what and what. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Okay. I think this is you. I'm going to accept it. We're going to accept it. Thank you, love. So yeah, this is you. All right. I've accepted you. I've accepted you. And let me hold up, girl. Let me go follow you back. Thank you. Thank you. I just, I get a lot of requests and I don't always follow everybody. So thank you, minds y'all, for giving me the heads up. And thank you for the $10. Perfect timing. Thank you. Here is BBC. And minds y'all just let us know that this was out here. Okay. So is she gonna sue? It sounds like it was a wrongful thing, at least to be let go. Now hold up, y'all. We gonna look into this. Wheeled. Okay. It is not clear Maurene Comey. So we still don't know. It's not clear why Maurene Comey was removed from her job at the Southern District of New York. We know this. And I saw, shout out to BJ. I was watching her video and she actually, when she did her video, it had more information on that. Like when we broke the news on this on YouTube, the only source that had more detail was the New York Times. We'll come to find out that it's a lot more than what people had initially put out when she was fired. So there was like an impromptu like meeting or something for people to know that she was being let go, that type of situation. So they had like a little meeting and there was like 6 colleagues, I guess, that heard everything. And there was nothing else other than that. And it sounds like it could have been an order out of, the president directly, which is especially if they say Article 2 of the Constitution. That's what it sounds like it might have been, right? And I would like in my mind, y'all, okay, let me be, and you guys are going to slap me. Feel free, put a hand in the chat if you're going to slap me, because I know you guys are going to slap me in the chat, okay? For saying this specifically. I would like to think, and I would like to give the benefit of the doubt that even though the person that's in office right now has shown himself to be just not a good person, in my opinion, I would like to think that there would be procedures and measures followed to remove somebody out of office, or excuse me, out of their position, especially after 10 years. Okay. Wrong or right or indifferent, whether I like this woman, whether I agreed with her, whether, let's put the Diddy, let's put all this stuff aside for a minute, right? I would like to think that we would live in a system where it doesn't matter if I like the person or not, or if like I could put up whatever vendetta I have aside. And if I'm going to try to remove somebody, then I'm going to follow that procedure. And I don't know if that's what happened here. Because there's not even any due process for the people that are being removed here out of this country through these mass deportations. And I know that might be an unpopular statement that I'm making, but let's think about that for a minute. That's just a statement that I wanted to make. Okay, so let's go to this BBC stuff. Okay, the Justice Department has been firing lawyers. Like I said, to be fair, the Justice Department has been firing lawyers who worked on cases that angered the president, including a special prosecutor investigation of Trump. If you pissed him off, especially these judges, if you didn't do what he said, fired. And it's so crazy because I remember that was like my favorite show back in the day, Celebrity Apprentice. I remember watching y'all. I'm like, oh my God, it's where everybody's living it. The Celebrity Apprentice was like my favorite show. I'm not gonna lie. That was probably the only time that I was like, okay, I think I like Trump. I think I'm good with Trump, right? But that was before I really thought he was gonna run for office, and I really thought that that it was cute. Did you, Stella? I'll have to check it out. I can't play it if it's got music because of the copyright. Lord have mercy. But hold up, y'all. Miss Comey, who has been a trial lawyer at the high-profile Justice Department office in Manhattan since 2015, was given no explanation for her firing because they can just let go of that. If a career, this is a statement, we just read it, okay? If a career prosecutor can be fired without reason, So they fired her. They didn't give her a reason. She just got removed. I believe that she just got removed. I don't think they gave her a reason. Fear may seep into the decisions of those who remain. I would be very concerned. Do not let that happen. This was a statement that she gave according to a copy of a message she sent to her former colleagues. So this wasn't like a general statement. This was a message that she gave to her colleagues. And this was this political. The Politico was the one article that reported her firing first. And then everybody else followed. Okay. Instead of fear, let this moment fuel the fire that already burns at the heart of this place. A fire for righteous indignation at abuses of power. Well, was this an abuse of power, or did she get removed for a performance issue? What was her removal? She literally said she was fired without reason. And then in the morning in the presser, when they tried to tell her, like, hey, like, or at least try to ask this question, this is a DOJ issue, they weren't going to talk about it. And they probably won't talk about it. Something tells me that her name's going to come up again in terms of some kind of conspiracy theory about something. And not to say that it's not valid, but it makes you wonder what this is all about. Well, and people in the federal government have been getting fired, right? Like, there people are losing their jobs. It's a fair statement to make. So instead of fear, let this moment fuel the fire. Okay, we read this of our commitment to seek justice for victims, our dedication to truth above all else. Okay. And then her exit comes as Trump and the Justice Department leader, Pam Bondi, faced backlash over the administration handling of files related to Epstein. Epstein, the well-connected convicted Pedialyte, died by unalivement in New York jail while awaiting trial in 2019. Bondi appeared to indicate in February that she would release Epstein's list, which we know that's bullshit. Check the community tab. We talked about this. This is so BS. Before saying last week that there's no criminality. I can't even read. Incriminating list. There's a list, but it's just not incriminating. And no further files would be disclosed. Okay. On Wednesday, Trump fired off his strongest rebuke yet on social media at supporters who claim that there has been a cover-up on Epstein, labeling them as weaklings and saying he did not want their backing anymore. Listen, my friends, we're going to get into this, okay? Oh, and yes, I saw, hold up. There is something going on Twitter about a birthday card. Before we go there, hold up. What is this about a birthday card? Huh? Exclusive WSJ birthday card seems legit. Oh shit. Happy birthday. Is that the president's signature? Gosh. This is going to get good but messy. Democrats walk out, the Republicans about an hour ago. The war has begun. This is about unity on the things that we agree on. For once, we agree on something. I love it. And I don't like these parties. I don't like people putting me in buckets of any of these people because my brain's not set up that way. Yeah, it just isn't. But oh my goodness. But listen, I'm here for la revolución. I'm here for that. I'm here to overthrow to toss the tables, turn tables over, burn the bras and burn everything, burn the books, but not the books. Sorry, not the books. The hats. I'm here for the hat burning of it all. Honestly, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. If we're going to do it, let's do it together. We are. Okay? Burn the oranges. Let's burn whatever it may be that we're standing on. I'm here for it. Let's not stand I'm like, whoa. So this is an exclusive. This is a birthday card, and this birthday card was given to Jeffrey Epstein by Trump. Stick figure with the chicken nuggets and the y'all saw the art downstairs. It had it in there. It did. Hold up. Let me see. Epstein And how did this birthday card come about? Epstein birthday card. Oh, here it is. Political. There, okay, it's right here, right here, right here. Before we get into the other stuff. Lord have mercy. And Sylvia, thank you so much for the 19.99, my love. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, thank you. Listen, they're trying to burn down PBS, NPR. That's what we heard this morning. They're trying to get out of everything. The article was thank you so much, Paige. The WSJ tells all. Okay. Let's go to the WSJ since that's the source. Birthday book? Oh, birthday card? Birthday card Epstein. But they didn't know each other, guys. They didn't know each other. It's fake news. Oh my God, it wants a subscription. I'm not doing that. We're sticking with political. I don't have time to sign up for yet another publication. I support, but it's just too many publications that I'm signed up to. SWJ says Trump wrote a racy birthday letter to Epstein. President says it never happened. So is he going to say fake news on the birthday card too? You did, Rose Gold? Where did you send it? On my email or on Discord? Right, EHC Bunny. Trump bragged Epstein was the only friend who had all of his personal phone numbers when the feds confiscated Epstein's laptop. Found over 19 phone numbers for Trump. Damn. Email. Okay. All right, let's look into this. We just saw the card, y'all. Let's see. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. But he's live. I can't play this when he's live, y'all. I don't want to get struck. So, okay, cool. I'll check it out here in a minute. Yeah, he's also looking at the same article. Trump was attempting to block publication of embarrassing WSJ Jeffrey Epstein story. Oh my God. And shout out to Adam. Yes, I did click the like. I don't want to play his stream, guys, because you do get flagged for that. I'm trying to be very respectful of other content creators. Hold up. So if it's not real, why is he trying to block it? Let me see something. Card. Trump blocks. This is crazy, yo. This is the Wall Street Journal. Here it is. They don't even give free articles, y'all. Let me see if I can pull it somewhere else. The Wall Street Journal has published the contents of a lewd birthday message Trump allegedly sent Jeffrey Epstein in 2003, enraging the president, who denies he had anything to do with the note. The letter features a drawing of a naked woman and a particular message about secrets. Here's how the journal described it. Okay, well, I just showed you some of it. It's a stick figure. It's showing her chicken nuggets, and the bottom is empty. She's not wearing anything. It contains several lines of written text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. A pair of small denotes of the woman's area. I got to be careful. And the future president's signature is squiggled Donald below her waist. We just saw that, mimicking the hair down there. The letter concludes, happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. That's quite an interesting thing to say. It's the same. Yeah, it looks the same. Donald Trump has a very distinct signature. Now, hold up. Let me see if I can. It's totally him, y'all. Donald, you listen, signature. This is Donald Trump's signature, y'all. Like, he's got a very distinct kind of signature. You can't miss it. And it's disturbing. Okay. And the bottom, it says on the note, oh my God, y'all. I'm telling you, man. He says it's fake. The letter, which the president says is fake, was part of a book of messages organized by Maxwell for Epstein's 50th birthday, the Journal reported. Maxwell was convicted 16 years later in 2019 for aiding Epstein's SA of little people. Okay, so we're gonna say we gotta be careful. Okay. This is crazy. The Department of Justice reviewed a suggestive 2003 letter from President Donald Trump to Epstein as part of its investigation into the convicted OSO. The Wall Street Journal reported today, Thursday, the president insisted that the story was false and vowed to sue the newspaper. Okay, well, I mean, he said he's going to sue. All right, well, let him sue. He said it's a fake story, fake news. Let him sue. This is not going away. This is not going away. Guys, if he would have just said, could it have been advocate? Maybe it could have. Maybe Taylor, it could have been. I don't know, man. I wasn't there. People do crazy shit with people's signatures. Very much so. It could. We don't know. And you know what? As much as I don't like him, he has a right to defend himself, right? Like he should defend himself. But here's the deal, y'all. Like, I'm gonna say it one more time because there's people in the back that don't get this part, okay? And this is not to blame because this isn't even about politics per se, because it isn't. It's about safety, keeping the American people informed. Guys, people that voted for Trump, and it's absolutely fine, I would like to think, would have known the dealings that he had with Epstein because there were no secrets. They were out there. Like you would literally have had to have had blinders to not have seen that. Okay. Now, if you selectively decided not to pay attention to that because there was something more in that agenda that, maybe got your attention, that's a whole different story. And that's okay. But what I love about what's happening right now is that people want to hold people accountable regardless of what side of the coin you stand on. So that being said, why is this president hiding from what clearly we already know is going on? That's the question. We knew that he vacationed with the guy. We knew that he was friends with him, very close friends. We knew that they partied together. There's pictures, for God's sakes, all over the place. He could totally own that shit. And he would still have a good MAGA base supporters of that. He could still own it, but he can't take accountability for that. He calls it fake news. The card he calls, and maybe it is. Maybe they staged it up. I don't know. I'm not there. We're only seeing little things about the card part, right? But let's not play stupid. Like he has to know that at some point it's about accountability, and people would appreciate a level of accountability. Like, yeah, I hung out with them. I hung out with them. I did. I partied with them. It's just much better. And then it quiets everybody. Well, and that's a great. So is the WSJ making up the card? Where did they get the card? Think about it. These are journalists, right? So wouldn't they have to go through a level of like making sure it's real? Now, it wouldn't be the first time that people make up shit because they do. I mean, he's allowed to defend himself, and if he's saying he's going to sue, then let him sue. Doesn't mean anything until they go to court, if you know what I mean. Yeah, there's no secret. That's what I'm saying, Amy. Like, we all know that they were best friends. And even people that voted for him, justified. Well, this didn't happen and this didn't happen. Okay. And that's what I thought. You notice, Bitch Bree, a lot of the Fox is coming for Trump. And Fox historically has been like, they pushed an agenda in this election. I couldn't watch Fox for the life of me for a while. So Fox is very conservative. They're very conservative, but they're not having it with Trump. They're not. They're like, no, bitch. Like you're running the media card is revoked with us. So they're turning this. And I think that other publication is very, what's the word? Conservative to a certain degree. But like the letter concludes, happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret with a nudie art drawing and his signature. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I couldn't watch, and I still can't watch Fox. I'm just gonna be honest. Every once in a while, I have to entertain it for the purposes of, when we're reporting stuff, because I have to. But Fox has turned very interesting. So, but they're coming for him. Something happened. Look at this. He's not happy with how they're messing with the economy. I'm telling you, it's so crazy. The things are just kind of one way or the other. So the letter was solicited by Maxwell, Epstein's girlfriend associate. The journal reported that Anne was put in a leather-bound album with other messages for Epstein on his 50th birthday. You guys, this is news to me. Let me tell you what was news to me about Maxwell and Epstein. And maybe because, like I said, I don't feel like I've done enough I know the basics when it comes to Epstein, but there's just so much information about Epstein and Maxwell, and it definitely requires maybe a deeper dive. I mean, because there's just so many tentacles to this situation, right? Epstein had many girlfriends. It wasn't just Maxwell. It wasn't just Maxwell that was recruiting young girls. Maxwell was the name, like it seemed like that was it, but it sounds like Epstein had a lot of girlfriends, some of which he left his fortune to. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of people in this situation, a lot. It's unclear if this letter was among the contents recently reviewed by Trump's Justice Department. Look how he say Trump's Justice Department, which shocked Trump's base when it announced it would not be releasing any more Epstein files and was effectively closing the case. They were part of materials reviewed by the Justice Department during its earlier investigation of Epstein, who, y'all know they like to put that narrative that he hung himself. We don't even know if that's the case. Okay. Trump denied the letter was from him. I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women. He told the journal, it's not my language. It's not my words. He added, I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal just like I sue everyone else. Mr. Murdoch stated that he would take care of it, but obviously it did not have the power to do so, Trump claimed. I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women. So he went on X, forgive my language, but this story is complete and utter BS. On X, adding, does anyone honestly believe this sounds like Trump, a man who famously caught on camera saying star as big as him could grab a woman by the bloop bloop? JD Vance to the defense. Hold up. See if I can show you guys my screen. JD Vance to the defense. Here we go. Forgive my language, but this story is complete and utter BS. JD Vance is cussing. The Wall Street Journal should be ashamed for publishing it. Where is this letter? Would you be shocked to learn that they never showed it to us before publishing it? Does anyone honestly believe it sounds like Donald Trump? And the Wall Street Journal has reviewed a book put together for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday. As part of the book, a letter was submitted by Donald Trump. Trump's letter featured a drawing of a naked woman, and this text, which what is it? A conversation between Trump and Epstein. We just read this. I don't want to have to reread it. It is clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared. Inside the outline of the naked woman was a typewritten note style as in an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything, the note began. Donald says, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is, Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do. Come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Trump, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Okay, so this was a handwritten note where it was like an imaginary conversation between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. And then he signs it. And he says he didn't write this. He never did this. So where did this come from? I should be investigated, right? You said JD's eyeliner is probably running as friend. Man, oh man. That's crazy. My protest signs looks like old school TV with they auctioned a picture with his signature. He does draw. Really? Omar says that they auctioned it. Okay, shout out to Omar. They auctioned a picture with his signature. He does draw. Does he? Omar Pacheco says this. Shout out to Omar. All of this backpedaling. Crazy 8 says, I'm with you on most, but due process for illegals, no, don't come here illegally. Well, thank you, Crazy 8. I'll make sure I tell that to the many of the relatives that I have, because I am first generation. See, when the decisions actually impact you directly, it hits you a little bit different. I don't want any criminals. I don't think anybody does. But some of the family members that I've had have been waiting for appointments, for things like that, and for them not to be able to have that because of what's happening now is just unfair. So if you're talking about criminals, that's fine. But when you're first generation, you see immigration a little bit different. It hits you a little bit different. Let's see. Yeah, the picture of the building that looked like middle fingers. What? He drew something? Hold up. Well, let's look into it. Hold up, y'all. Y'all got me thinking. Donald Trump art? He draws? Donald Trump own drawings? Does he know how to draw? Donald Trump has look at this. This is what AI is saying. Yeah, take it for what it's worth. I don't know if it's true, okay? Let's see. Signature by the sidewalk area. Gotcha. Yeah. The skyline. Okay. Hold up, y'all. Manhattan skyline. There you go. Whoever said it, shout out to you. A drawing of the Manhattan skyline by Donald Trump sold for nearly 30,000 at auction in 2017. It was originally drawn for a charity auction in 2005. Empire State Building sketch, another drawing. This one of the Empire State Building sold at auction for 16,000 in 2017. Trump drew it for a charity event in the 90s. So he does draw. So why are people acting like the man doesn't draw? Like he's acting like it. I don't draw women. I draw buildings. But he does draw. And actually, the sketching looks very interesting. Look at this. See if I can show it to you guys. Hold up. It's got the same heavy hand pen that the naked woman had. And look at the signature. It's right there. Y'all see his signature's right there. Yo, just own the fact that you drew that naked woman and then have it auctioned. That's what he did. Just own it. He's spinning. Thank you. See, Joy Miller said it took 10 years for someone we know to get a car when both of their children were born in the US. Thank you, Joy Miller. My point exactly. You said, I'm sure my 4-year-old granddaughter is a better artist than that. Shout out to Tony. She's like, no, you failed as an artist, my friend. You failed, okay? That's his signature right there. It's the same one. Man, that's not like it's a very aggressive signature. You're right. Donald Trump is gifted. He can really do you some arts, you know? You said facts. Trump is known to use Sharpies when signing documents. He just told on himself. So who did the other one? Who did the boobard? He told Epstein that his secrets were safe with him. The lie about the Unabomber was a crazy doozy, says, well, oh my goodness. You keep missing the notifications. Yo, okay, beautiful messy ball. What do you think about the Donald Trump nudie woman art? And then he's denying that he did it. Y'all. No, you're fine, Paige. Shout out to you. I don't know what to say, man. I am just at odd by this. Okay. Well, thank you for bringing this up to my attention. So you got Comey, who gave a statement. What do you guys think of Comey's statement? And then you have Trump, who's denying that he wrote this. And then you have the white knight, J.D. Vance, who, by the way, also said that he couldn't wait. In 2021, he couldn't wait for the files to be released. He couldn't wait. Now, let me see what people are saying in the comments. Oh, and he further says, doesn't it violate some rule of journalistic ethics to publish a letter like this without showing it to the victim of this hit piece? Oh, Donald Trump is a victim. Wow. Will the people who have brought into every hoax look at what JD Vance is saying. Will the people who have bought into every hoax against President Trump show an ounce of skepticism before buying into this bizarre story? Oh my God. People are like, journalistic, nobody holds journalists accountable. Get your facts straight. In an interview with the Journal on Tuesday evening, Trump denied writing the letter or drawing the picture. This is not me. This is a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story, he said. I never wrote a picture in my life. Why does he say he never wrote a picture? Wrote a picture in my life when he's got art that has been auctioned. He told the Journal that he was preparing to file a lawsuit. I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal. I never wrote a picture in my life. Look at this shit. Lord, you guys were talking about the skyline. There you go. And there's a signature. But he never did it. This is AI. This is fake news. Well, we wouldn't expect him to write a picture. Oh my God. And then we got more breaking news. Hold on. What is going on? Y'all. Benny Johnson just posted, hold up, y'all. I got to show you this. It's like, it's going crazy all over. What's going on? Benny Johnson, Attorney General Pat Bondi announced Epstein grand jury files will be unsealed tomorrow in court. 12 minutes ago. Oh my God. Yeah, I thought you draw a picture. You don't write one. So does he consider the other ones written or drawing? Oh my God. What? Wait, I gotta see Pam's Pam is like, I've been busy, y'all. They're attacking me left to right. I can't do this anymore. She is having, hold up. See, I don't follow that. I don't follow these people because my Twitter, I don't even like Twitter. I'm already having it go crazy. Let me see what it says. This can't be your account. Is it? Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Straight from the horse's mouth or from the Twitter account. General Pamela Bondi. Here you go, guys. President Trump, we are ready to move the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts. Dun, dun, dun. Donald Trump says, based on the ridiculous amounts of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam perpetuated by the Democrats should end right now. Oh my, breaking news. Breaking news. Now, yes, release everything that doesn't mention Trump, of course. Come on now. Come on now. We're not brand new. That's what this is about. You're kidding, right? Like, he's not going to release anything that has anything to do with him right now. That's going to be a heavy redaction. It really is. Pertinent is the key word. There you go. Am I the only one breaking the news? Make sure you guys are sharing it and supporting the channel. Please and thank you. Let me update the title. Lord have mercy. Let's do that right now because breaking Trump will release. I don't know if I want to say will release Epstein files because I feel like we're going to be heavily disappointed. Epstein files. Comey makes statements. Trump fire for retaliation. I don't know, man. Comey makes statements. Retaliation and more. My goodness. This has been so interesting, y'all. Grand jury testimony. You call BS? I order more Sharpies. More Sharpies. Is it Maritina? Is it or Manita? Martina or I want to say your name all kinds of different ways, but you said you call BS and they won't give it at all. You don't think so? You know, Bondi better watch her butt. She'll be gone before she don't blame her for dropping the wrong. You dropped the wrong files. We're gonna get more binders. Donald be lying. Oh my God. So what time tomorrow? Are we gonna have to be live tomorrow or what? Heavily redacted keyword. Binders phase 2. I am gonna create my own binder. I am telling you, y'all. I'm gonna create my own binder. I'm not even joking. I'm going to create my own binder. And I'm gonna call it phase 2. It's gonna be part of our props. Oh my God. All right, for those that are coming through, guys, welcome. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. So we got some breaking news. So apparently the Attorney General responds to a tweet. President Trump, we're ready to move the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts. Now, let me say something. Why does it sound like this is such an action fit movie? Like, girl, just say, hey, listen, we're ready to go. We go. Like, stop it. And then tweeted based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to the Jeffrey Epstein. Why is he saying that? And even if they unseal it, are they going to move forward with prosecuting any folks? Are we going to have names? Is that what I'm hearing? Because I'm telling you, I don't think that they're going to give us names. They're not going to give us anything. If they didn't give it to us before, why would they give it to us now? I know. Why does it have everything's done on X? Ava, if they really gave a shit, they would have done a press conference on this. I don't know, man. You said, hold on, Rabbit. Bondi says she's moving the court tomorrow. Not that they will necessarily be released tomorrow. That is true. So we probably won't hear about this till what? On the weekend? Next week? Binders and Sharpies for all. Y'all get a binder. You get a Sharpie. Get a number 2 pencil. Smoke and mirrors. I'm telling you, you guys can't make this shit up. What did I miss? Rachel, what did you miss? All of this is breaking while we're live, by the way. Let me see what the people of the Twitter are saying. Full release. Raw alerts. Democrats, we demand justice for Epstein victims. Trump, great. Here's the grand jury testimony. Democrats, wait, no, not like that. Telling you, it's crazy. Things I don't think you're considering. Every time you use at Elon's platform to communicate with the world, you forget that he controls literally everything about it, and you have none. Also, this is a global town, square, and who knows what they are seeing. Well, okay. Look, I think Jeffrey Epstein was a jerk, but I don't support invading his privacy like this, especially since his tragic death a couple years ago. I think that was a joke. Pretty sure that was a joke. It's so hard to keep track of your lies. So you have the client list and photos? Such a slow news day. Now we're cooking with gas, somebody said. All of it. You guys are welcome to have me walk you through it. No more amateur hour. Lord, what happened to the list that was on your desk? Some names in it you don't want people to see. Pam, you promised the release of Epstein's full client list. Why the sudden U-turn with the DOJ memo claiming it doesn't exist? This is about protecting Trump, Elon alleges, or just more cover-up. This internet is crazy. Release the files, not the redacted grand jury testimony. Kay's like, listen, just do it. You told the world you had the client list. I'm reading the reactions, y'all. If you are just going to release a bunch of BS, don't. Release the real information. Otherwise, it will make things worse. You were supposed to drain the swamp, not make it thicker. Bitch, people have drowned in the swamp. The swamp has claimed lives at this point. People are drowning in the swamp. But I'm getting it together. Everything is cray-cray. Wasn't me. Hey, who's on the leadership board? Shout out to Sylvia. Wait a minute. The swamp is not drained. People are drowning. They're not going to drain the swamp. This isn't the client list. Then I said, ha, 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 ha. Look at this. Epstein committed S and there's no client list. Sure, you aren't ready to just tease it for another 6 months, release some binders, and then tell us it doesn't exist. People are losing it. I'm here for it. Look, hold up. I wanted to go. Well, now, okay, so we had a couple of breaking news items. We talked about, just to do a little review real quick, little recap. We talked about Maurene Comey and her statement. Sounds like she doesn't know, or at least was unfairly terminated, or, doesn't even know why. Okay. Then we talked a little bit about the art that Trump is now denying. And then now we have breaking news that they got to go through court, but they might release something with the grand jury. There's that. We're going to be on watch for that one, my friend, because I don't know if I believe any of these people at this point. I don't believe any of them. I told y'all they don't work for, they work for us, but it's almost like they don't care. So let's go to Nate the lawyer, because he had a reaction, and you guys know I love Nate the lawyer's reaction. I am going to speed it up. And this is on Trump turns on MAGA fools who bought Epstein's Democrat hoax. Oh man, come on now.
And I don't know how we got here. To start off, I want to show you how even the Democrats have changed on this. Originally, Democrats like Sunny Hostin, who was on The View, she's Miss Democrat up there. She was saying, hey, it was only Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. No one else was involved. And the reason why she was saying that was because we have pictures of Bill Clinton getting massages from the Epstein girls with Epstein in the room, right? Now, the person he's getting a massage from wasn't underage, but you had that, right? So we know Bill Clinton was close associates with Epstein. We know about Prince Andrew. And these are a lot of left-leaning people who are, exposed in this Epstein thing, but not fully exposed, but it's like, it's kind of wild. So Sunny defended them and was saying it's only Epstein. But now all of a sudden, when Trump is under the gun, she's totally flipped. Now she's believes in a conspiracy theory. Where is the list? Here is her change from when she thought there were more Democrats on the list, how she felt about it, and then when she feels that it's Republicans on the list, how she feels about it.
People were dying for this information. There was some sort of list that everybody thought was going to come out, and who's on the list. What's important for us to note is we shouldn't be repeating names that are on the list, because just because your name has not on the list, but in the documents, just because your name is on the documents doesn't mean that you have done anything criminally irresponsible or illegal or civilly irresponsible.
Or that you were a client.
Or that you were a client. These documents, as I read them, only reflect Epstein's sexual assaults of women and his sexual behavior. So I think that...
And Ghislaine?
Also, and Ghislaine. And so being named in this suit does not equate to being accused of wrongdoing. And I think that is extremely important because conspiracy theorists seem to not understand or enjoy facts. Yes. These are the facts.
There is a list. Trump's name is on the logs, the passenger logs of Epstein's aircraft at least 7 times. That's already been made public. I mean, of course, Trump is denying.
2024, 2025. This is The View. I'm not a fan of The View, but okay.
Any no allegations, but all of that information is out there. Why not just put it to rest and say, release the list?
All right, so as you see, Sunny's flipped on the issue, right? It was really just Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Now she's saying there's a whole bunch of other people involved. But with that, it's hard, I think, for the Democrats to be grounded in this Epstein thing because no one actually even trusted them on the Epstein issue anyway. But also, secondly, Epstein was arrested under Trump's first administration.
Yes.
He was prosecuted under Trump's first administration.
Yes.
And he died in prison under Trump's first administration.
Yes.
So Trump and his team have been intimately involved with the Jeffrey Epstein saga from the beginning. Before that, it was another Republican administration who arrested, convicted, and sent Jeffrey Epstein to jail. That was the Bush administration back in 2008. So 2008 Republicans, they arrest, jail Epstein, right? To his weekend jail, the sweetheart deal. Obama takes over 16 years. We hear nothing about Epstein. Trump gets in office, Epstein's arrested, and dies in jail.
Yep.
So now Trump loses that election to Biden. 4 years later, he's back in action. He hires all these people saying, we're going to get transparency on the Epstein thing. They then start releasing documents. Remember, they started releasing phase 1, Epstein phase 1.
The first phase of the Jeffrey Epstein files were going to be put out there. Once they opened the binder, it turns out that all we actually had were a few more of the flight logs. There were some more blacked out bars.
I hope you're
This is hilarious. This is hilarious. Now, I think what the other part is that the promotion of how this kind of went down and everything, and then they use these influencers to do it. I think this is hilarious.
hungry for nothing.
What the heck is going on?
I don't think the files still exist. If they do exist, I think there are efforts within the government to suppress that information, and they will go to lengths to do it. People believe that our government exists to protect the powerful. You have to help people believe that in America, accountability is for everyone.
All right, so now that you know all that, I've taken a whole bunch of reactions to Trump's recent statement that everyone who supports him and is interested in his Jeffrey Epstein thing is essentially dumb. Matter of fact, here is the full statement read out by Officer Tatum. So he's going to read out the full and complete statement so we all understand what is making everyone so upset. So here's the full statement.
It says the radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt, they say pay dirt. Again, just like with the fake and full discredited Steele dossier, the live 51 intelligence agencies or intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, which the Dems swore had come from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bedroom. And even the Russia scam itself, a total fake and made up story used in order to hide crooked Hillary's Clinton's big lie or big loss in 2016 presidential election. These scams and hoax are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They are no good at governing, no good at policy, no good at picking winning candidates. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick, and then we gotta put some more in there. They stick together like glue. There's new scams, and what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past supporters, this is where I'm just gonna be frank. This is where he peed people off. My past supporters have bought into the bull. You know what? Hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson, and probably never will. Even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 years, I have had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in the country's history. And all these people can talk about with strong prodding by the fake news and the success-starved Democrats is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings, he used the word weaklings, continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again.
On your Truth Social this morning, you mentioned past supporters when you were talking about the Epstein issue. Does that mean that you're effectively disowning any supporters who are now calling?
Now let me stop right here because I don't want us to keep playing the same thing. Now hold up. I love Nate's reactions.
But what I'm going to do is now play the list of people's reactions. It's not going to be their full reactions because I don't want any copyright issues, but snippets from their reactions to this particular statement and how they feel about it. Now we're going to go the full spectrum. So we're going to alt-right, racist, all the way to moderate. So you're going to get a view of how the right as a whole, I think, is thinking of this Jeffrey Epstein thing and the president's response to them. So let's start with the alt-right champion and confirmed racist and anti-Semite, Nick Fuentes.
I don't want their support anymore. Well, fine. You don't get any more. Nobody should vote for Trump. Nobody should vote for Republicans. And what needs to happen next, by the way, the Republicans must be hanged in the midterms. That's what must come of this. Trump must fucking pay for this statement to say, I don't want your support anymore. Every single Trump supporter, every single Republican needs to say, okay, bet. You don't want our support? Forget about the midterms. Forget it. The 2026 midterms, it just needs to be a Democrat avalanche at this point. And that's not because I'm a Democrat. I'm not. I don't like the Democrats. I hate the Republicans more because the Republicans are traitors. Because I have voted for Republicans. I have supported Republicans, and they on our face.
Next up is Alex Jones. If you don't know who Alex Jones is, you just got to put him in Google because there's a whole bunch of stuff comes up. Now, he's not as extreme as Fuentes, but he's pretty extreme.
You talk about this, I'm going to excommunicate you. Well, you're not the Pope, bro. I mean, you're not speaking from the throne ex cathedra. And plus, I'm not Catholic. So, I think of Catholics, it's just, give me a break. Anyone who disagrees with anything I say is banished. And I'm not saying Trump land is a cult. The Democrats are the cult of hating reason and logic and common sense. But when Trump starts behaving like that, it starts getting into cult territory. And I bet since I talked in the first hour and said I'm not in this cult, if that's what it's turning into, I bet there's already news articles about it. But I went on to say Trump is not a cult yet, but behavior like this starts going down that road. But I guarantee if it's not out now, it'll be out in the next hour. And it'll be Jones says he's left the Trump cult. Nope, never was in the cult. Not saying it's a cult, but this is starting to become cult-like language.
So now let's move from the fringe of the right.
I can't with oh my God, it's a cult. That's the thing. We think for ourselves. I haven't been banned from anything or shunned anyway. I'm just laughing. We're all laughing, beautiful. I think it's hilarious because I was not expecting that reaction. Yo, it's too much. Y'all, listen. We're adults here. Everybody, y'all select whatever you want to select. I'm like, what is going on here with this one? He had quite the reaction. I don't know why that made me laugh. Oh my God. It's just because he said two different things at the same time. That's true. There you go. We aren't forced to wear red hats or any kind of uniform. I mean, he did let go of people that support him. So, I mean, there's that. He's not. People are able to make their decisions. All right, let me leave it at that. I just thought it was hilarious, his reaction.
It's to the more traditional conservative Republicans. These aren't people who are alt-right by any means. These are people who just believe in traditional Republican values. Mm-hmm. This is Matt Walsh. He has millions of subscribers on YouTube. This is his take.
Many of us, we're not saying anything different from what we've been saying for years about Epstein. Okay, and also what Trump has been saying for years about it. Now Trump has decided all of a sudden that the issue doesn't matter, it's boring, and anyone who talks about it is a weakling and not one of his supporters. He decided that in the last 2 weeks. He never said that before. So the idea that we as conservatives are obligated to just adopt that perspective out of the blue is madness. It's also not possible, by the way. Even if I wanted to just decide that I don't care about this anymore, it doesn't work that way. I can't. I can't just, you can't say to me, well, you shouldn't care about this. Okay, well, then I don't. Well, never mind. Even if I wanted to obey that directive, I just can't. I care about the issue. I've cared about it for the last 5-6 years. I've cared about it the whole time.
Yep.
I still do. But I'm not interested in obeying that directive because I'm an American.
Why?
Like, I'm an American. I can think for myself. And if you're a person in position of power, I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to criticize you if you do something I don't like. I don't care what party you're in. But the other thing too is that the Epstein scandal, and this is what has to be,
I'd have to agree. I don't care what party you're in. I'm going to criticize you, period.
You have to understand is that the Epstein scandal is not happening in a vacuum. Okay. We have not seen any high profile or powerful people held accountable for their crimes. No one's even been fired, let alone arrested, for allowing an assassin to almost kill Trump last year. Trump was elected in 2016 partly on a promise to lock her up. We all recall that. So when do we start locking people up? Trump himself has spent 10 years calling out many different crimes and scandals, rightly so. Just this past weekend, he was talking again about the rigged election in 2020. Why hasn't anyone been arrested or charged for any of this? What about the people who lied about the COVID shot? What about the people who funded the BLM riots in 2020? What about the cabal of unelected bureaucrats who are using Joe Biden's auto pen to sign pardons and executive orders, effectively seizing control of the federal government? Now, back to the point, Republicans.
Okay. But that being said, though, and let me just say this, I think that maybe that's the issue, right? That we're definitely in need of new type of leadership or new way of thinking that's not, within this mindset of Republican and Democrats. They both suck. You said old people need to retire. It's the way the system is set up. It's just not working overall. But Trump is allowed to bring old situations, but when it comes to Epstein, he's not okay with that.
Saying that this is a major scandal. I agree. It is.
Mm-hmm.
So then who will be held responsible? Who will be punished? What actual person with a face and a name are you going to arrest and put in prison for this scandal?
Because let me say this, they could go and release things. They can go to the court. They can do all that. But if they're not going to bring any justice to the 1,000 victims, what's the point? Release the information. We need it, but they're not going to move forward with anything legal. What's the point?
Well, Republicans are investigating it. Great. They're constantly investigating things. The problem is that nobody is ever punished at the end of it. And I don't even think that's hyperbole. Like, nobody is ever punished at the end of any of these investigations.
Yeah.
That's not how the Democrats operate. Democrats spent the last 4 years prosecuting Trump and throwing conservative activists and political advisors in prison. And now, even after the majority of Americans have voted for transparency and justice, we're not getting it. And that's just not going to work. It's not what any Republican voted for in the last election. Okay, we want to see accountability. We want to know that even the rich and powerful will pay for their crimes.
His conservative Judge Andrew Napolitano, he was on Fox News for a couple of years. Now he's doing his own.
All right, let me stop right here because his video is pretty long. Now, did you guys hear about Pence? Pence had something to say about this. And then there's Coffee. Boyzilla did a video. And that's another interesting video. But let's talk about what Pence had to say, because I was like, whoa, Pence. Okay, Pence.
Mike Pence sat down with our Major Garrett on the takeout yesterday, and Major asked Mr. Pence about the ongoing controversy over the Trump administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Here's some of that conversation.
President Trump said that Jeffrey Epstein matter is a hoax. Last week, his Justice Department said there were more than 1,000 victims of Jeffrey Epstein. Last summer, Trump said he was open to declassifying all the relevant files and the Epstein client list, and that his suicide looks suspicious. How can all those things be true and it be a hoax? I don't understand where things stand with all this.
I think the time has come for the administration to release all of the files regarding Jeffrey Epstein's investigation and prosecution. It's important that we protect the names of the victims. They should be excluded from any disclosure. But whether or not the facts justify charges, I think that anyone who participated or was associated with this despicable man ought to be held up to public scrutiny.
One of the most aggressive investigative reporters in our country, Julie K. Brown, was on my show last night, and she said when the Justice Department last week said 1,000 victims, she said that was a higher number than she was familiar with, and indicated to her that there have to be accomplices that some of the victims have named that worked with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And she said, shouldn't there be some inquiry into whether or not those people should be exposed to criminal prosecution? Do you agree with that?
I just think we ought to get the facts to the American people.
Thank you.
I've always believed in transparency.
And when the president says it's all a hoax, what is he talking about?
Well, Jeffrey Epstein's prosecution began during the Bush administration. Continued.
He's blaming it on Democrats.
The Obama years.
It's not a hoax.
I know of no reason why this administration, once the victims' names are protected, should not release all the files on Jeffrey Epstein.
Understood.
And you can watch more of Major's conversation with the former vice president on the CBS News YouTube channel.
You said that Pence is always a day late and a dollar short. Why you gotta do Pence like that? Pence he's trying. Poor guy. You guys are unapologetic in my chat. Y'all behave this way in everybody else's chat, or just mine? Let me know.
Into Epstein, no special prosecutor. Trump is tripling, quadrupling down on the idea that it's all a big hoax, despite a lot of his party campaigning on this.
It was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. And so they try and do the Democrats' work.
That's right. If you care about accountability for a trafficking ring, you're doing the work of the Democrats, apparently, and Trump doesn't want your support. This is another post from Truth Social where Trump says that it's a scam. We will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, despite him being one of the people heavily trafficking in this, and saying my past supporters have bought into this hook, line, and sinker, clearly saying if you care about the release of the Epstein files, you're not a real supporter of Trump anymore. You're a past supporter, saying about his own supporters, let these weaklings continue because I don't want their support anymore. This obviously felt like a huge betrayal to a lot of the people who have supported Trump and expected him to come through on this promise. The last thing most of them were holding on to was the idea of a special prosecutor who could go into the Epstein case and try to get some transparency. In fact, it was reported that Donald Trump was okay with appointing a special prosecutor. This was according to John Solomon, who claimed this in an interview.
No. You are not a minority here. Shout out to Beautiful Biswell. Y'all, like I said, we all have differences of opinions when it comes to this, which regardless of where you voted. So let's not get into this bucket of that. I'm here to hear like both sides. I don't purport to be the end all be all of all of this. I have my opinions on stuff, but like I said, as long as we keep a fluid conversation about the differences of opinions, we can both be we can say our piece about different things.
Any prompting without me even asking yet. He says, I also think if that has a special prosecutor, that prosecutor should just look at anything credible about Jeffrey Epstein and let's get this resolved. Let's get the American people the most transparency. Now, what does that mean? If there's a special prosecutor, this gets out of Pam Body's hands. It goes to an independent person. They look at it, they release what they can about it, and they tell the American people whatever the grand jury can squeeze out of it.
Now, this had many people saying, oh, this is great news. This will bring accountability, transparency. Here's Benny Johnson talking about it.
There's been a dramatic change in approach. Very powerful people inside the administration are pushing for a special counsel, full press briefings on Epstein findings, and so on. And this is
I don't even think that's going to happen because they did ask about that, about a special counsel for the Epstein files. They're not going to do that. It doesn't sound like that's what they're going to do.
Because of our voices that cannot be ignored.
Right. Voices that cannot be ignored, except they were just today by Caroline Leavitt, who says Trump is not in favor of a special prosecutor at all. It's not going to happen.
The president said that he floated the idea of a special prosecutor in the Epstein case. Can you confirm that? And has he asked the Attorney General to do this, to appoint a special prosecutor to look it over?
Well, the idea was floated from someone in the media to the president. The president would not recommend a special prosecutor in the Epstein case. That's how he feels. And as for his discussions with the Attorney General, I'm not sure.
Wow. That's how he feels. He feels like, we don't need more transparency. We don't need more accountability. We need to hush this up. Okay. Trump has also responded when asked that he has nothing to do with a special investigation.
President Trump, would you consider appointing a special counsel to investigate the Jeffrey Epstein investigation?
I have nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it, guys. We've already done the investigation, and you should be pleased with what we put out. This was also said by Trump himself, the idea that we've already given you everything credible.
She says, I gave you all the credible information. And if she finds any more credible information, she'll give that too. What more can she do than that?
Right. She's given us all the credible information. If she finds more, she will give us more. But we already got it. If you remember, Pam Bondi already gave us the phase 1, which just included a lot of already released information. At the time, they called this the first phase, which sheds light on Epstein's extensive network. An extensive network that now includes 2 people, Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Really extensive. Kash Patel, by the way, quoted saying there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, except, of course, all the incredible information, right? You have credible information, you have incredible information that they're going to hide from us, I guess. With these influencers who had the binder, I guess this is part of the Democrat hoax. Can't understand why they would do that. Now, as a rewind, though, what has really the FBI DOJ released that wasn't already public? Well, one of the biggest things was the tape, right? The tape of the prison cell, which actually wasn't the prison cell. It was the common area, which couldn't see Epstein's cell, which definitively proves everything. Except not only did it not show Epstein's cell, not only were there blind spots in the tape, we also had a Wired report showing that it was a modified file. This was something that went into Premiere Pro, was saved multiple times.
Yep.
We don't know what was changed, if anything. But now we have new reporting from Wired saying that Epstein's prison video had nearly 3 minutes cut out.
Look at this.
Which started at the quote.
So it wasn't, was it missing a minute? Was it 3 minutes? Which one is it?
Missing minute. So I ask again, what credible information has really been released? The only thing that's been released is ironically not credible. Not only is this great for people like Prince Andrew, who's now traveling around, guess who else this is great for? Ghislaine Maxwell, who's now appealing her whole conviction on the grounds that the government already gave her a non-prosecution agreement, or more specifically, Epstein a non-prosecution agreement. And we have this statement from Ghislaine Maxwell's family and her counsel of record saying, quote, "I'd be surprised if President Trump knew his lawyers were asking the Supreme Court to let the government break a deal. Judges have previously dismissed her lawyers' arguments that she should have never been prosecuted because of a weird agreement drafted more than 15 years ago. Yes. But now, of course, this is at play again, given all the recent revelations and the fact that the family seems pretty directly to be appealing to Trump, which is an interesting turn of events if Maxwell has anything on him or someone else in power. They actually say explicitly he's the ultimate deal maker, and I'm sure he'd agree when the United States gives its word, it should keep it.
And we've read this already, so I'm going to see what else. I'm going to try to hurry up on this.
Maxwell is in prison. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck. Let them prove somebody was guilty.
So pretty clearly, the president seems to be extending his sympathies to Maxwell in very bizarre terms when asked, hey, do you think this person's going to turn in rich and powerful people? Well, we wish her well. So that worries me. Yes. When then the Maxwell family and her lawyer are pretty explicitly appealing to the president, who wished her well, saying, hey, this whole thing should be barred because of Epstein's former agreement with the prosecutors. Speaking of prosecutors, by the way, Maurene Comey was just fired by the DOJ, with many speculating this is an order that comes from the top, from Trump. Now, Maurene was the prosecutor in the Diddy, Epstein, and Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell cases, with some people saying the timing is too coincidental with the whole Epstein investigation and Maurene Comey maybe knowing something about it. The other way to look at this is, of course, that Trump has hated James Comey, her father, for a very long time. James Comey, of course, doesn't seem to like Trump too much. He recently published a photo of Seychelles saying 8647, referring to the 47th president of the United States. So it could be the case.
Imagine being let go by the same guy that let go of your dad. Oh, my God. That's crazy.
This is a revenge firing. It could be over the handling of the Diddy trial, or again, it could be over the Epstein-Maxwell cases. But on the whole, what we all want is just more accountability, more transparency. We want these people to release the full files. Yep. So on that, I'm going to explore a couple leads that maybe will pan out. There's been a push by the House to have the Epstein files released. This has now become a bipartisan supported thing. Previously, it was voted against, but now they're trying to force a vote. I've kind of stated that I'm not sure that this is going to get somewhere. I hope it does, though, just to be clear. I hope they release it. I think it's been covered up for so long. I guess I'm so cynical about it. But I guess in the words of...
Are they going to release it? So are we going to get something? We might get something. It sounds like, based on what's being put out there, Trump is not happy about it. But I guess he's willing to entertain the idea. But is it going to be what we think it is? Is it going to be anything? I think people are disappointed already. I don't think that there's anything at this point that people can do to get happy about this at all.
Trump, I wish them well. We wish the House well in trying to release it. I will say for the millionth time, this is not a left or right issue. This is the people versus the There's also this report from the New York Times about the $1.5 billion they're trying to chase down. This was handled by JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank. These both paid fines for their involvement in moving money for Jeffrey Epstein. Here, the legislators are trying to actually chase down some of the funds. Notably, the New York Times reports that there was a huge suspicious activity report, also called a SAR, reviewed by the congressional team that was filed in late 2019 by JP Morgan for $1.1 billion. The report covered 4,700 transactions dating back to 2003, including payments to women from Belarus, Russia, Turkmenistan. Many of Epstein's victims included young women from Eastern European countries.
They're going to be redacted.
So I will say, as many people have, follow the money is a great idea in a case like this, where Jeffrey Epstein had a bunch of mysterious...
I'm not holding my breath.
wealth. Unfortunately, I have to say it's an uphill battle when the most powerful person in America, Donald Trump, seems dead set on closing these files and trying to get it to all go away. And I also encourage people to be suspicious of when a president says something is a hoax, despite the fact he said for years there are powerful people implicated in these files. Even saying that he was going to be transparent, there was going to be a wave of accountability, only now they're covering it all up. They want you to trust them, and if you don't, you're stupid and or a weakling.
I agree. And the reason I like Voidzilla a lot, his approach to this has been kind of very, very cool, because it's like, he said it right from the jump. Let's not make this political. Let's make this about transparency and about the fact that we just want the information. You said it's going to be more BS. Thank you, Morris17, for the $5 super sticker. I appreciate it. You know, you redact the victim information and then you kind of go about this. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. And I told you, it's not what I'm going to do. I'm just not. And I think that, like I've said it before, these things should have been released in the previous administration. They failed us there too. They keep failing people. The way in which things are set up, they have failed a lot of people. And we keep voting for this bullshit, and we keep allowing this to happen, and we keep allowing them to tell us what's best for us, and then doing it this way and thinking that, you know, maybe they know. Maybe this is the way we need to do it. I'm just not holding my breath. I'm not. And I think all of these political people are crooked. And that's why I don't even don't entertain so much of the conversation about who and what, because it is what it is. You said, I wish we could redact this president. Yo, come on now. Let me see. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go. Let me know what you guys think about Comey's statement. Now, I do wonder what follow-up is going to happen here. If she was wrongfully terminated, hell, she can file a lawsuit. I'm sure she knows that clearly. You know, she can do all kinds of things as it pertains to that. And then this news that just broke about Trump and potentially going through the court, and then maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll get something this weekend or next week. And it might be nothing but redacted pages. I just don't think that he's going to do anything to, you know, put himself out there. And then what do you guys think about that little card that we just saw? I don't know. Another lawsuit. That's how it is. All right, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.